So, very interesting tidbit kind of came out, and I thought this was definitely worthy of talking. It's been kind of a big year for Xbox. We all love the developer direct that they put out. I thought it was a phenomenal developer direct. To be honest with you, it's a little bit bittersweet just because a lot of us were waiting for something along the lines of, you know, of exclusives. Like a lot of us were there when Microsoft was promising us all these exclusives and things like that. And then at a particular point, it was just like, we never really got that. So they promised us these exclusives in 2018, and here we are in 2025. And there's not exactly like we've got a bunch of them or whatever, but the games are starting to get announced and things like that. But they're just also coming to PlayStation. And, some people are going to be okay with that. Some people aren't. I think it really kind of comes down to how you personally feel about it. But I wanted to get into this before too long. I just really appreciate you guys for watching. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. I do daily gaming content, so look for that. And a simple like really kind of helps out along the way. So we know Xbox has stuff like Fable reportedly releasing, Doom the Dark Ages, another Call of Duty game, South of Midnight, Avowed, Outer Worlds 2. It looks like it's going to be a really tremendous year in terms of the software that they're releasing. And now, according to a new report, Gears of War E-Day is also targeting a release this year, which would mean that they were actually working on stuff, longer than what we were thinking, because when you think about it, the last Gears of War game, 5, released in 2019, so 6 years ago, and we kind of were asking ourselves, well, what the heck have they been doing since then? So now it looks like we kind of know what they've been doing. Despite being mocked at every possible opportunity, Xbox has solely managed to assemble a potential all-timer of a game lineup for 2025. Not only do we have smaller titles like South of Midnight and Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 coming fairly soon, but we also have behemoths like Doom the Dark Ages, Avowed, and the recently announced Ninja Gaiden 4 scheduled for the release this year. Keep in mind, Ninja Gaiden, Doom the Dark Ages, and Clair Obscur are all launching on PlayStation as well. That's not even excluding some of the undated titles Xbox has penciled in for 2025, such as Fable and The Outer Worlds 2. So it's looking like a good year to own an Xbox, despite Microsoft's best efforts to convince everyone they don't need one. And now another previously announced game could be a boost to Xbox's 2025 release schedule even further. It could be launching Gears of War E-Day, which was announced back at Summer Games Fest last year, but we've heard very little about it since then. What with the announcement being a CGI trailer, it was kind of assumed that the game was going to be potentially years away from release, but according to The Verge journalist Tom Warren, he claimed that it may not be the case. In a new article talking about the upcoming flurry of Xbox games, Warren claims to have heard last year that Microsoft was planning to have Gears of War E-Day release at some point in 2025. Warren himself has regularly reported on the inner workings of Microsoft and has claimed that the rumored Obsidian Remastered remake will launch in late spring or early summer, which lines up with claims made by Nintendo Switch leaker Nate DeHate. It's also worth noting that it sounds as though Warren is going off of info he heard last year, but plans can change dramatically in game development, and Gears of War E-Day could easily slip into 2026. So, keep that kind of in the grand scheme of things and things like that, when it comes down to it, we could easily see, it slip into some other kind of place or whatever the case may be. But, I do think that it is very interesting to see that, the game could potentially come out before, 2026. I really think that, it's going to be a situation where Microsoft has, a lot of cool stuff to choose from, but is it really going to work out well for them? I think that's going to be one of the things that a lot of people kind of look at and go, well, maybe this could help, but we'll see if that's something that actually would help or not. Like, to me, having Gears of War would be good, but at this point, I think most people realize that these games are going to launch on on PlayStation regardless. So you know, to be quite honest about it, like that's how I look at it. You know, it's like if you have an Xbox, you're probably safe to have Xbox, you know, for the next few years. And you know, I wouldn't recommend people buying stuff if you have an Xbox, but you might want to. You know, like I said, it's kind of crazy to think, but given how many games that you know, Microsoft and Xbox are juggling right now, it's kind of hard to imagine a company releasing all of its heavy hitters in such a short window of time. If Gears of War E-Day is going to release this year, it almost certainly will be included at this year's summer showcase. And you know, but again, like you have to think about it. You know, people that released something last year might be ready to release in, you know, 2027. So you can have games release in 2025, 2026. Like I'm sure that they've got it kind of mapped out somewhat. I think that it would be cool. I'm looking forward to the game myself. I just hope that it's like something worthwhile for Microsoft. You know, to be honest with you, I just think that that is honestly something that could change how we look at gaming in general. You know, I kind of look at how Microsoft is working on some of these things, and I question, obviously, you know, some of it. And some people always go to me, well, you know, you're thinking about things in like the early 2000s kind of situation. And to me, that's not exactly how I'm looking at things. I'm looking at things and I see PlayStation 5 selling ahead of PlayStation 4. I'm looking at the Nintendo Switch selling well above anything else ever, and those things have console exclusive games. And then if you look at what is happening with Xbox, where it completely tanked in 2024, there's rumors out and leaks out saying that they sold under 3 million units in North America in 2024, and they sold 0.29 million units in all of the EU last year, right? All of the EU, that's not even 300,000 units in the EU for all of 2024. That's pathetic. And if those numbers are true, you do have to kind of question, like, what is the point of Xbox going forward? You know, I think that would be one of the things that you kind of have to look at it and say, okay, well, how do they plan on selling people on Xbox? And to the kind of interesting part, how I look at this, I'm sitting here going, you know, it's kind of crazy to me when you hear Phil Spencer do these interviews or whatever. He really doesn't make much sense, you know, and maybe I'll get into that on one of these other videos. But you know, when you hear him talk about, oh, hey, we wanna have a situation where you know, where people buy our console based on the innovations and, you know, blah blah blah. But it's like, look, Xbox One X was great, had innovations, a lot of cool stuff. Nobody bought it because it didn't have exclusives. Xbox Series X, great innovations, most powerful console. Nobody bought it because it didn't have any exclusives. It's like, I don't understand how we can see this, but they don't see it. You know what I mean? I thought the whole idea behind them buying, like, these other studios and things was the fact that, you know, they could actually have exclusives to be competitive and compete. And you know, apparently, I guess that wasn't the case. You know, I'm not really sure what to say about that. You know, it's kind of crazy to me, the way that happens. You know, and hopefully something can change between now and, you know, a certain particular point in time where, you know, they can maybe get back involved in gaming and make sure that people have something great to play. You know, I really do think that they have great hardware and the games are cool. So if you really like, but again, it's just like, what about the multiplayer? You know, it's like it feels like they're killing the multiplayer aspect. You know, people not buying Xbox, and you kind of forced to do the crossplay thing. And you know, I mean, it does feel like it's slowly killing the Xbox. You know, I hope that's not the case. I hope they can figure out a better way to do it. But to me, not having anything exclusive just really doesn't work. And you know, I know maybe there's probably some people that are tired of me saying that, but you know, like I said, they have a good platform. You know, the Xbox or whatever. I think they overestimate some of these things like that people want. That people want to play on a smart fridge or whatever. I think they really overestimate that stuff, or taking your stuff on the go. Like as an adult, like I have never really taken my games on the go. It's like when I get home, I want to play some games, relax on my big screen, the way that these games look and play best. And that's kind of how I do it. But you guys might think differently. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. I appreciate it. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. I'll catch you guys next time. Crap Gamer out.